Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. I inherited this little grinder from my dad long ago. And I think it's one that got thrown out at the foundry because there was too many things wrong with it. And that was, well, I was about 10 when that happened. So it's been around, well, easily 60 years. Easily 60 years. I've gone through and replaced the cord on it once because the cord went bad. But today, we're going to go through and oil the bearings because it's squeaking pretty bad. First thing I do is unplug it. Then we're going to take these arbor nuts off. Then we're going to go through and pull off the shrouds, get in where we can get to the bearings, and see if we can put some oil in them. If these will work. Well, that looks like a fit. Now we can take off this side easy enough. I don't know who made this. Well, look at that. Pull that sleeve off. And that's this. That's not the seal, that's the dust. Now these are oilless bearings because there's no greaser on them. Dirt and dust resistant dry lube. Plug this thing back in and see what happens. this side's making noise now, but that one stopped. Well, that's nice. Those arbor screws are not very tight at all. They don't necessarily need to be. They just got to drive the arbor. That little washer right there needs to come off before I pull this housing off so I can get down to where the bearing is. So I'm going to have to pry on this a little bit. The thing that was holding it is that little nylon ring. There we go. That came off quite nicely. This bushing, this little nylon bushing, clips into the wheel and centers the wheel on the arbor shaft. Now we'll remove these 3 screws. Pull off this sleeve. Something has chewed up that shaft. Looks like somebody put a pair of pliers on it. In as many years as this thing's been around, I wouldn't be surprised. There we go. Look at that bushing. There's a seal on the inside that rubs against that bushing is what seals the inside of it. This is the bushing from this side, and this is the bushing from this side. This one has got marks on it where something has rubbed on it, and this one looks like if there ever was a seal in there, it's long gone. Plug this back in again and see what happens. It certainly is taking a long time to spin down. And that is a good thing. That's just the wires rubbing against the inside of the shroud. I don't think that'll bother anything. Now, I lost the footage of assembling this thing, so I'm redoing it. I've taken it apart by putting it back together again. And you might not have caught it, except for one thing. This screwdriver looks a little too good. This is the bushing that goes on the inside of the wheel. And this half-inch washer is just there to make sure that the pressure goes against the flange and holds it. Same thing on the outside. And spin up the nut. And this grinder has the right hand side with a right hand thread and left hand side with a left hand thread. Pretty much standard operating procedure. But unlike most of them that I've seen, this one has a screwdriver slot in the end of the shaft. That lets me hold on to the shaft and tighten the nut really securely. I don't like how that's rubbing. Flip that wheel over, see if it makes a difference. was cleaning up the shop and I picked up this screwdriver. Now, this screwdriver isn't worth a whole heck of a lot. It's a cheap wooden handled Chinese knockoff. A nice wooden handle with a square on it. It used to be every handle came like this. Wood. Nice solid handles. Not everybody likes wooden handles. I happen to like wooden handles, but not on these screwdrivers. This is a cheap Chinese knockoff, and the handles chew up and split. They're just not anything that I like. But they're kind of nice to make look good, because since it's wood, you can use the grain to kind of give it some character. And a little bit of cleaning and some blow, and next thing you know, you got a good looking screwdriver. Well, I wanted to wire brush the shank because this one looks very much like this one. This one is rough. This one's actually got a cracked handle, but the shank's rusty and everything's just kind of chewed up, and it's a messed up screwdriver. So I thought if I had a few minutes, I'd take and wire brush this down and get it cleaned up and put some blow on the handle and make it look nice. But to do that, I needed to fix the grinder because the grinder was making some odd noises. So I spent a little time on it and oiled the bearings. Now, no squeak. Not much of one. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.